The movie depicts how Jessica and her friends uncover the true identity of a masked killer during a Thanksgiving sale, leading to a climactic showdown with the town sheriff. The movie begins in a small town where everyone is joyously celebrating a festival known as Thanksgiving. The town's sheriff pays a visit to his friend's house where he meets her and her husband. As a gesture of goodwill, he brings a gift that his friend appreciates greatly. Invited inside, they share a meal together. The husband of the sheriff's friend works as a manager at a store called Mart. Despite it being a holiday, the Mart's owner demands his presence, much to the dismay of his family. Meanwhile, the Mart owner, a prominent businessman, decides to host a sale at the Mart on Thanksgiving, drawing eager crowds who gather outside the store. While the Mart owner relaxes comfortably at home, his daughter Jessica spends time with her friend. They make plans to visit Jessica's father's Mart to observe the situation firsthand. Upon arrival, Jessica encounters a college acquaintance who harbors feelings for her. Due to Jessica's familial connection to the store, she and her friends are granted access inside. Outside the store, some people felt really upset about what was happening, especially a boy and a woman. They were very angry. They broke down the gate barrier so everyone could get in. Suddenly, there was chaos. People started grabbing things as if they were free. In the rush, many people fell and got hurt. They were so focused on getting things that they didn't care if others were getting hurt. The sheriff's friend got pushed and fell down. She got badly hurt and there was a lot of blood. Sadly, she died right there. When Bobby tried to help someone who was injured, someone stepped on his hand, hurting him too. A year later, it was Thanksgiving again. Everyone was scared because they thought Jessica's dad would have another sale at the store, and like last year, it might end in disaster. Jessica's friend made a video about what happened and put it on the internet, and it became very popular. But Jessica didn't want her dad to open the store again. She knew it could lead to more trouble. However, her dad decided to open the store and have another sale to make more money, even though Jessica didn't agree with it. After seeing people die at the store, the woman who was very angry last year became a waitress. The sheriff told her that a new deputy was coming to the town. When the deputy arrived, he noticed a mask lying around. The waitress explained that it was the mask of the town's first governor, John, who was highly respected. Everyone wore his mask on Thanksgiving Day to honor him. One day, Jessica and her friends received a notification from someone named John, tagging them all. It included a picture of a table with their names written on it. They thought it might be a joke and ignored it. Later, a man wearing Governor John's mask appeared and stared at Jessica before vanishing. At night, as the waitress closed the door, she found John's mask there. She wondered who it belonged to when the killer, wearing the same mask, attacked her. The killer first splashes water on the waitress's face. Then he presses her face against the fridge. After that, he goes to grab his axe to kill her. However, the waitress manages to free herself and tries to escape, but the killer spots her. She attempts to hide in a nearby dustbin, but the killer gets into a car and hits her with it, causing her body to split into two parts, resulting in her death. Later, the killer places half of the waitress's body on the Mart's building to frighten people. The waitress was chosen as the first victim because she was angry during the previous year's sale and appeared the most in the video, pushing others to get free items. When the police investigate the murder, they review the CCTV footage but cannot identify the killer because everyone wears masks on Thanksgiving. Jessica calls her dad to warn him about the murder and urges him not to reopen the Mart. Despite the danger, her dad insists on reopening with extra security. Fearing for their safety, Jessica and her friend seek out a weapons dealer for protection. They then go to the police station to report the incident and seek help. They start talking about how they believe the killer is targeting those who were involved in the previous massacre. Sheriff Jessica suggests getting video footage of the previous incident to identify who might be in danger. She knows that the footage might be available at the Mart, so they plan to use it to warn potential targets. Jessica prepares to help with the investigation and meets Bobby, telling him that they all need to stick together to stay safe from the killer. That night, the killer goes to the house of a guard who witnessed the chaotic scene at the Mart and tries to escape. The killer brutally decapitates the guard, putting his severed head in a bag and taking it with him. The next morning, the killer sends a disturbing message to all his friends, showing them the severed head of the guard placed on a table with their names written on it. This terrifies everyone as they realize they could be the next targets. Despite extensive investigation by the police, they still can't identify the killer or stop the attacks. Now Jessica, using her dad's laptop, secretly sends the video footage of the previous massacre to the sheriff. The sheriff then tries to figure out who might be in danger and who is safe by analyzing the footage. In one part of the video, they notice Jessica's friend hugging the same guard who was killed. This makes them worried that Jessica's friend might be the next target. The killer then goes after a gym trainer who was also present during the previous incident. The gym trainer's friend, a cheerleader, invites him over and starts jumping on a trampoline. Suddenly, the killer attacks the gym trainer, twisting his neck until he dies. The cheerleader is also brutally stabbed by the killer, resulting in her death. After these horrifying incidents, the college where Jessica's friends were studying is closed down for safety. However, Jessica's two friends are instructed to stay at the college. When they are alone, the killer kidnaps them. Later, the killer tracks down Jessica, but she manages to escape and hides in a makeup room. As the killer searches for Jessica, she sprays him with something and runs away. Hearing her screams, the police arrive just in time to rescue her. This way, the killer is prevented from harming Jessica. Now, when Bobby and Jessica's classmate learned that the killer tried to attack her, they both rush to meet her. But instead of working together, they start arguing with each other. Jessica intervenes and tells them to stay away from her for their own safety. Meanwhile, Jessica's friend goes to a weapons dealer and buys a gun to protect himself. However, the killer manages to enter Jessica's friend's house. He quickly takes out the security guard and then confronts Jessica's friend. When his dad sees the killer, he tries to defend his son by shooting at the killer, ultimately ending his life. With only Jessica's friend left alive, he quickly video calls his friend to check if she's okay. Assuring him that she's fine, she suddenly realizes the killer is behind her. Before she can react, the killer stabs a nail into her ear, causing her to bleed profusely. In a panic, she starts running away. Her friend witnesses the horrifying scene through the video call and rushes to her house to save her. However, the killer catches up to her and holds a knife to her neck. Jessica, watching everything unfold, decides to show her other friends the situation through a video call, teasing them with the distressing reality of her friend being in the killer's custody. Tragically, the killer drops the girl onto a blade, resulting in her body being cut into 2 pieces, leading to her demise. Witnessing this horrific event, Jessica's dad decides not to reopen the mart, recognizing the danger it poses to people's lives, including his own daughters. Sheriff advises everyone to participate in the Thanksgiving function because it will draw a large crowd, and they believe the killer will show up there. They agree, hoping to capture the killer. The next day at the function, the killer indeed appears. He gruesomely kills a man by removing his neck and then creates chaos by throwing smoke bombs, causing everyone to panic and flee. During the commotion, the killer manages to capture Jessica, her friend, and her parents. Jessica's mom wakes up to find herself on a table, witnessing the killer preparing a sauce with spices. The killer begins applying oil to her body, intending to roast her. However, Jessica's mom frees herself when the killer goes to retrieve his second mask. She runs away, hiding in the freezer room. Unfortunately, the killer had already placed the cheerleader's body there, which terrifies Jessica's mom. As she tries to escape, the killer finds her and injures her with a fork before putting her in the oven and turning it on at full heat. Jessica's mom tragically succumbs to the heat and roasts to death. The killer then proceeds to livestream his horrifying act, showcasing Jessica and the other captives. When the police arrive at the location shown in the video, they find nothing, as the killer had misled them with a false location. In another live stream, the killer presents a meal consisting of Jessica's mom's roasted corpse, terrifying everyone present. He accuses Jessica's mom of being behind the idea of the sales event, justifying his actions. As the conversation continues, Jessica manages to free herself, and her friend follows suit. Together, they flee from the scene with the killer in hot pursuit. He severely injures Jessica's friend before turning his attention to Jessica. However, Jessica encounters the sheriff, unconscious nearby. Upon further investigation, she discovers Bobby removing the mask of the town's first governor, leading her to realize that Bobby is the killer responsible for the gruesome murders. When the sheriff regains consciousness, Jessica informs him that Bobby is responsible for the killings. Upon hearing this, the sheriff starts shooting at Bobby, who flees the scene. The police pursue Bobby while the others are rescued. The sheriff reassures Jessica that her dad and other friends have been saved and taken to the hospital, where they will recover soon. However, Jessica notices dirt on the sheriff's shoes, realizing that he is the true killer, not Bobby. She recalls how the sheriff had chased her in the forest earlier. Confronted with the truth, the sheriff admits to his crimes, revealing that his motive was fueled by loneliness and a desire for revenge. He had lost hope after the death of his loved one, who was planning to leave her husband for him. Blaming Jessica's dad's sales event for her sudden death, he decided to take revenge by targeting everyone wearing John's mask. Jessica is shocked by the sheriff's confession and questions his actions. The sheriff explains that his loneliness and grief led him to seek vengeance, believing that no one would suspect him. As he prepares to harm Jessica, she confronts him, pleading for an explanation. The sheriff's tragic story sheds light on the depths of his despair and the darkness of his actions. After Jessica reveals that she has recorded the sheriff's confession, everyone realizes he is the true killer. Enraged, the sheriff attempts to kill Jessica, but Bobby intervenes and saves her. They escape in a truck and drive to a safe location. Upon arrival, Jessica fills a large balloon with gas, intending to use it as a weapon against the sheriff. When the sheriff approaches to attack them, Jessica shoots at the gas balloon, causing a massive explosion and fire. The sheriff is caught in the flames, leading everyone to believe he may have died in the fire. Following the incident, the police and firemen arrive at the scene to investigate. Despite their efforts, they find only ashes, unable to confirm whether the sheriff survived or perished in the fire. Later, Jessica has a dream where she imagines the sheriff hiding in her closet. However, when she checks, no one is there. Unbeknownst to her, the sheriff is revealed to be alive, having disguised himself as a fireman during the chaos of the fire. With this chilling conclusion, the movie comes to an end, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats with uncertainty about the sheriff's fate. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Now goodbye